Good evening. I'd like to call this meeting of July the 2nd, 2024 to order. As we gather today, I would like to acknowledge on behalf of this committee and our community that we are meeting on the traditional territory of the Algonquin people. We would like to thank the Algonquin people and express our respect and support for their rich history. And we are extremely grateful for their many and continued displays of friendship. We also thank all the generations of people who have taken care of this land for thousands of years. And please join me in a moment of silent reflection. Thank you. And since our last regular council meeting, I have attended on June the 20th, an Irish gathering meeting, and you'll hear more about that, I'm sure, from Councillor McMillan. June 24th, our CAO and I attended a meeting with MP Cheryl Gallant, which we will discuss in closed. On June 25th, our first 2024 budget review meeting dealt with our revenue lines and assorted future revenue sources. And on June 26th, I attended a county council meeting. We approved the 2023 audited financial statements. You'll see in your package, there is a municipal day to be held in Pembroke on September 26th. They're hoping to have as many people as they can. There's going to be two sessions, and it's the county department are going to make presentations of key initiatives, new innovative activities. They hope there's opportunities for collaboration while discussing operational aspects of each department. They feel that they're going to also discuss shared services, and hopefully it'll be mutually beneficial. Our municipal, this was asked of me at the last meeting. Our municipality will be added to the delegation attending AMO regarding water and sewer concerns. And also, I did inquire as far as the armed prior property standard and the health and fire departments in armed prior made recommendations to council. They were very happy with the way it worked, and they applied the costs to their individual tax bills. July the 1st, special thank you to Councillor McMillan for leading the Canada Day celebration and helping our people get organized, and also to Bob Grohl for his leadership in regards to the fire department and the fireworks, and also Colton and Michaela. What a way to bring them in right away into an event like that. It was a good night, and there was a lot of people there, and I think everybody left feeling good about it. So, yeah. Okay. Moving on. Does anyone have any pecuniary financial interest to declare? Having seen none, and there are no delegations. Motion for the previous minutes of previous meetings.
Moved by Harold Levine, second by Carol Steele. Motion to approve the minutes of the regular council meeting on June 18th, 2024, open and closed sessions.
Questions or concerns? All those in favor? Carried.
Moved by Carl Keel, second by Ted Brown. Motion to approve the minutes of the Finance Committee meeting of May 14th, 2024, open and closed sessions.
Questions or concerns? All those in favor? Carried.
Moved by Carl Keel, second by Harold Levine. Motion to approve the minutes of the Committee of Adjustment meeting of June 11th, 2024, open session.
Questions or concerns? All those in favor? Carried. And now we'll move to Deputy Public Works Superintendent for his report.
All right. Good evening. Keep everybody up to date on what's happening at the roads department. I put together this report with very short notice, so I hope it's adequate. Dust layer has been placed in all designated areas. Grading continues as needed and where it's needed. Flag poles at the Round Lake Fire Hall have been installed. Pond excavation fill has been landscaped and topsoil has been delivered. Cheryl Boyle Park has been raked, grass has been cut, whipper snipping has been done, bathrooms have been cleaned for this past weekend, the long weekend, but they haven't done by them. Our John Deere tractor has started the roadside grass cutting recently. Landfill. Welding continues on the cardboard bins. We kind of ran into a little problem there, but yeah, back in the couple weeks ago with the heat, we just a little problem, but everything's back up and going. Coal patching. It's been a constant struggle. Like this rain ain't not helping. Like we're there, we're doing it. I don't think we're losing. And I think we're actually starting to gain them. So that's basically a good sign. Our trackless is in the shop right now with some overdue maintenance. And we're doing it all ourselves at the shop. And by week's end, I hope we'll be joining the John Deere tractor with roadside grass cutting, which is pretty good news. The damaged tandem truck 20. All the repairs were completed this morning and done, and it's up and ready to go. Lake Street, south side, low lane closure. We added a few additional measures this morning there for traffic and didn't want people, that south side is supposed to be shut down. So we put some cones out roughly 1 meter from curb's edge and roughly 4 to 5 meter spacing, which should allow cars if need be to enter, but it should deter them from actually parking there. Ditching, we've done some ditching on Heritage Road. Approximately, 40-50 loads of fill have been removed, which was pretty good to have accomplished in a couple of days. Our bulldozer, the repairs have all been completed and I floated it home this morning. So it's ready to go, and probably the first place it will be going will be the fire department for the topsoil that has been delivered.
Does anyone have any questions? No.
Thanks, Kevin. What's the thinking behind putting the pylons out about a meter from the sidewalk? That seems to take some of the,
Yeah,
it stops the parking.
well, roughly a meter.
Yeah, roughly whatever.
Where do you go? Where do you start? You want to take away a whole lane? No, that's not the purpose, because you want traffic to be able to pass. You want to deter people from parking there, and at a meter should roughly accomplish that goal, I think.
Okay.
Right.
I thought it could be closer to the sidewalk and it's still deterred them.
We can try it if
Let's leave it like this and see.
we can go at half meter, we can, and again, that's just a rough estimate, but yes, we can monitor it or we can try it right away.
Yeah.
Whatever.
I think we'll know once the bridge is actually closed.
I think we'll know once we notice them either missing or damaged.
Okay,
So yeah, that can be adjusted. That was just something to try, like a pilot project kind of thing.
sounds good.
Anybody else?
The Sunrise waste site. It's almost as rough as Fire Street Road.
Yeah, that's on the
And
radar.
I know you can't grade it because it's all rock, but can we put some? I think there's a load and a half of A gravel already up there.
I think where they're talking about, there's calcium. And that's on the radar for tomorrow morning, where we have the water truck, and we will be putting water down and grading tomorrow. Old landfills are kind of
Yeah, I know.
designated for, yeah, there's been
The
a lot.
last time it was graded, it was just
Yeah,
because I know you.
Well, again-
It's hard because it's all rock there.
again, the excess of rain,
If we could put some. Gravel there, you can then grade it around, it's bad.
is it on the calcium?
The horseshoe, I don't think so.
Yeah, then by all means, but like I said, it's on the radar. Tomorrow morning, we're going to.
No, I'm just asking you.
Yeah, well, our tanks on the water truck right now, and like I said, fill the landfill again with that excessive rain.
Oh, I know.
They kind of, you know, you can't steal people from one place either, because like even our students, which are very helpful, they've been cutting grass steady. So with them cutting the grass steady, maintenance has to be done to those things, so. You know, you run a lawnmower for 2 weeks. You take somebody away from a truck, that's a lawnmower, so yeah. But no, that's definitely on the radar tomorrow, and if we can put gravel there and it's not the calcium, it'll be done.
Ted?
You use cold patching in town yet, or just out of town?
Coal patching right now, the designated areas that have been on the board. Have been division. I guess that would be northeast to the lake, and I think that's pretty well done. Then division, obviously the other direction.
Just forgetting a
Mountain
couple,
View, yeah, so
Forgetting a
yeah,
couple.
it's on the list, like,
getting a couple pretty big holes there at James and Zummig the hill.
pardon me,
Getting a couple pretty big holes on James and Zummig on the hill there.
yes, that won't be a problem either.
And one thing, not really for Kevin, but so what happens if somebody parks on the road? Who gets called? Is it their bylaw officer or? Road sweeper? I'm not sure.
Just Tyler act as a bylaw.
I think what you can do is just, tell them to call the township office and then we will disperse it.
Okay.
Like if Dean's in the office, we'll disperse it to him and
Okay,
vice versa. If Tyler's in the office, we'll disperse it, to him. Cause I don't believe charges are gonna be late. It's just a reminder that through this process, while the bridge is getting,
Yeah.
done, that they don't park.
So there's no.
I haven't really discussed the, so I was just wondering.
Yeah, well, that's a good point, because there's real no bylaw
It's
to hold, so.
So yeah, so if they call the office, I'll talk to Nathan tomorrow.
Anybody else? I have two. First one is. We got, Tammy sent out an email June 27th. She received something from the County of Renfrew Public Works. And in there, it says start date. July 2nd, and it says end date, September 20th. Did you hear anything about that?
Yeah,
It's
that
gonna
comes
be,
through us. We got that.
No.
Last package.
So they told us individually that it said that they should be done late August. Then I heard, I seen another email that said late September. And that one there that says actually gives a date. So, I mean, they're trying their best to,
Yeah.
as to when it's gonna be done.
I just want to make sure that our public knows that it's
Mhm.
gonna be longer than, I think it was originally early August. So they're extending themselves, but then again, it could be done sooner as opposed to later, but.
Well, with my knowledge of them, bridges, the bridge on the other side of Round Lake by the airport there, that was posted to, and I'm sure they were like 3 weeks overdue. They have some, how would you say, unforeseen things
Yeah.
that come up, of course, like suppliers and.
It's not unlikely.
Yeah.
A lot of times they're over.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and things, you know, I
I,
think I could almost go on record by saying there's gotta be at least 4 to 6 weeks late.
Yeah.
Just by.
I just-
knowledge of the past bridges, right?
I just don't want anyone to get their hopes up that it's gonna be done the middle of August, because.
Yeah, like I said, my past experience with seeing the bridge, we'll look at the bridge right here in town. How long was that?
Yeah.
I think those dates are more like a guideline.
Yeah.
They have really no idea until they start working.
Yeah, I think the main importance is the start date. Get them worried, and then once it's there, it's like they know. When it opens up, I can come back.
And do you know anything about the latest incident at the wayside on Mask Road? If you don't, we'll wait until Dean gets back.
I don't, I would just say it, unprofessional hearsay. That's all I know.
Okay. We'll wait until Dean gets
Yeah,
back.
nothing
Yeah.
like. Nothing on record that I know, just.
Okay.
Let's just say out of work. Or anything.
Yeah. Fair enough. Okay, anybody else have any? Well, you did very well. Thank you.
I put it together in a hurry.
Good
I
job.
hope I covered most of the bases, but yeah, I think it's gonna be a tough month though in closing. Today several phone calls came in and probably be 3 to 4 hours tomorrow just dealing with those. So again, when this happens, you take a man away from potentially being on the grader, potentially cutting grass, potentially ordering parts.
Mhm.
So I know it's something you have to deal with, but unfortunately, these happens.
Yep.
Maybe it happens to people doing bridges too.
Okay, thank you again. Tammy.
You don't have to say if you don't have to.
That's what I was waiting for.
Tammy, why did you tell them?
Thanks. Thanks, Devin.
Okay, I just wanted to update council that we are tentatively booked for September the 14th with Brenda for our Household Hazardous Waste Day. However, we're still waiting to hear back from GFL in hopes that they can assist us with an earlier date. And we hope to hear from them by the end of the week so that we can start advertising. As discussed at the finance meeting, I prepared a resolution for the acceptance of the RFP for the Killaloe Rink Board System. Moved by Ted Brown, second by Harold Levine, that council for the Township of Killaloe, Hagerty Richards accepts the Killaloe Rink Replacement of Dasher Boards RFP 2024-01 from Zircon of Barry's Bay, Ontario in the amount of $165,500 plus applicable taxes in the amount of $21,515 for a total amount of $187,015.
Questions or concerns? All those in favor? Carried.
I also wanted to provide council with an update on the Killaloe Pathways Park Washroom Grant that we are going to be applying for. So Bill has met with Tyler, Dean, and Dale regarding the project and also spoke with Tyler Peters about the design. CRC will be applying for the grant. The grant covers the full cost of the project. CRC will provide water and electricity. They'll pay for the utilities to be turned on and off seasonally and will make the washroom available for public use. In exchange and subject to agreement between KHR and CRC, the municipality would be responsible for cleaning, maintenance, and pumping the holding tank. Okay. And then I did send an email today about setting a special meeting with council, Dean, and the Round Lake Property Owners Association. So does council want to look at their calendars and maybe pick a date for that? And then I can see if Dean is available and the Round Lake Property Owners Association.
Can I question whether or not we need to have this meeting? And from my perspective, they sent in a letter with a number of requests. One of the requests was to have a meeting, but really what they wanted was more information. And from what I see, Dean answered all of those questions in an email to us. So has that information been relayed to Brown Lake property owners?
I'd say so.
Well, I don't know how's that what Dean sent us, that was sent to the Round Lake Property.
No, it was just to
So can that be sent to the Round Lake property owners, and could they come in as a delegation with any extra, just to save? Taxpayers a lot of.
I think they have some built-up frustrations that they want to unload, and I don't think it's just that. I think there's other items. It hasn't gone as smooth as what I think all of us had anticipated. Starting last
But
year.
it's not all on our fault either. It's the water levels went up so fast. And I think even earlier than what they normally go up because there was no snow. Which really pushed back on them. When we've explained, I don't know how many times when they were sitting here and everything else.
It doesn't feel timely to have a meeting and spend a couple $1,000s on a meeting for questions that maybe could be answered by email. I feel like we have an open line of communication, we just need to delegate staff to be able to provide them with the answers they want. We're open to hearing their concerns, they're welcome to come in as a delegation anytime. Any of us would talk to them if they called us. I think there's other venues maybe to talk where we don't have to after a 17% tax increase. You know,
Well,
we
I
don't have
think-
to spend any more taxpayer money having extra meetings.
I'm not
Another-
sure.
And another thing about it, the availability of the parts for the dock. Like, remember the one company went out and then we had to find another
Well,
one.
the lad that was supposed to be looking after left the company and never put nothing forward to the guy coming in. So,
And that's
We had the engineer in
and
there
he's
to
been
look at
talking
it.
to, yeah,
Brian, you're feeling?
Well, I think if they got all that information and those questions are answered, then, if they still have something, we can put them on the delegation.
At a meeting.
That's my feeling.
we're trying to save money, so I mean,
And it's nothing against the property owners, like we
No,
value,
not
we
at all.
value them and value their time, it's the timeliness of having extra meetings when. We're trying to not.
Ted, do you have
so
any?
much.
I agree with Brian, yeah.
Okay. Then let's go ahead with that.
Okay, and then the last thing I had is as per the email I also sent to you this afternoon with regards to Mr. Kumper. He requested an audience with council to discuss his concerns with the tax rate increase, outstanding taxes and water and sewage. So I'm inquiring if council would like to have Mr. Kumper attend as a delegate, and if so, would you like him to come to the July 16th regular meeting as he's requested, or invite him to the next finance meeting?
I'm fine with either.
I think it should come to the finance meeting itself, but. They're all on YouTube, so. But I don't care, it's wasting their time.
I think let's make them as a delegation. Because finance meeting, we've got a lot of things. I don't want to take up that time.
For council meeting? And that's it for me, and open, with one matter in closed.
Okay, correspondence. Township of Glen Valley. In regards to exempt emergency vehicles from emission standards. Okay. And the Francis Benedict Okoski Memorial Foundation Golf Tournament.
Going up, Brian, or?
Yeah, I think we have 22 golfers so far, but we still room for anyone that they would want to come. If the numbers are on there to contact myself or come. They all the proceeds go to mental health and addiction.
Great cause.
I don't call, but I want to do a donation. I can see you do it.
Absolutely, just give me a call and.
Ken and I are golfing, so we're gonna win.
And we don't golf either.
Okay,
Let's give a donation.
Yeah, pretty much.
the Warden of Renfrew County, Peter Eman, municipal infrastructure policy paper and resolution. And there is a resolution.
Moved by Ted Brown, second by Carl Keel, calling for investment in municipal infrastructure for Eastern Ontario's small and rural communities. Whereas Eastern Ontario's small rural municipalities face insurmountable challenges to fund both new growth related infrastructure and ongoing maintenance of their capital assets, including local roads and bridges, clean water, wastewater, waste facilities, and municipally owned buildings, including recreational facilities and libraries. And whereas the Federation of Canadian Municipalities has calculated that municipal governments across Canada are responsible for approximately 60% of public infrastructure that supports our economy and quality of life, but only receive 10 cents off every tax dollar. And whereas the Eastern Ontario Wardens Caucus, EOWC, region's capital infrastructure deficit has increased by 58% since 2011 and is now at $6 billion and growing. And whereas in 2018, the Ontario government mandated all Ontario municipalities to develop and fully fund capital asset management plans by July 2025. And whereas the EOWC has released a regional municipal infrastructure policy paper showing key infrastructure data, opportunities and challenges in small rural municipalities across Eastern Ontario. And whereas Eastern Ontario is a growing economy that can grow more with sustainable and innovative infrastructure partnership and investment from the federal and Ontario governments. And whereas the infrastructure deficit for small rural municipalities cannot be adequately addressed through property tax revenue, restricted municipal borrowing capacity, and municipalities' limited ability to generate revenue. And whereas small rural taxpayers cannot afford dramatic increases to pay for the current and future infrastructure. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Corporation of the Township of Killaloe, Haggerty, and Richards joins the Eastern Ontario Wardens Caucus, the Association of Municipalities of Ontario, and the Federation of Canadian Municipalities in calling on the federal and Ontario governments to immediately and sustainably partner with municipal governments by investing in both the new and ongoing maintenance and repairs of municipal infrastructure in Eastern Ontario's small rural municipalities, and that the federal and Ontario governments immediately review data and work together to implement solutions based on the EOWC's municipal infrastructure policy paper in partnership with small rural municipalities. And finally, that this resolution be forwarded to the Honorable Justin Trudeau, Prime Minister of Canada, the Honorable Sean Fraser, Minister of Housing, Infrastructure and Communities of Canada, the Honorable Doug Ford, Premier of Ontario, the Honorable Kinga Surma, Ontario Minister of Infrastructure, the Honorable Paul Calandra, Ontario Minister of Municipal Affairs and Housing, the Honorable Lisa Thompson, Ontario Minister Rural Affairs, the Honorable Peter Bethfalvy, Ontario Minister of Finance, the Honorable Pravneet Sakira, Ontario Minister of Transportation, the Honorable Victor Fideli, Ontario Minister of Economic Development, Job Creation and Trade, local MP Cheryl Gallant, local MPP John Yakubuski, Federation of Canadian Municipalities, Association of Municipalities of Ontario, Canada Mortgage and Housing Corporation, Rural Ontario Municipal Association, and Eastern Ontario Wardens Caucus.
Could you repeat that?
Yeah, questions or concerns? All those in favor? The next one is from the County of Renfrew, Save the Date, County of Renfrew Municipal Day. Which I talked about in my address earlier. And I'm sure we'll get more information as we get closer to that date. The next item is a letter that I received from Tony McLeod and Elaine Rowland.
Yeah, I'll talk to that.
Information purposes.
Oh, we'll discuss it. Apparently they would like me to resign, but unfortunately for them, I will not be stepping down. I just want to put it out there for all taxpayers. If you have a problem, give us a call, email us. We can discuss it. Maybe I can, maybe you'd understand it better if you talk to me in person. If you are listening, it's 613-504-1856. Looking forward to hearing from you.
Township of Otonabee, South Monahan. Regulations for importation and safe use of lithium ion batteries.
There's no such thing, as safe use. There's a fire hazard.
I see that, what is it? The Mississippi rules. They agreed to put it in a storage.
All for old batteries,
You do, yeah,
so that'll be the first one in Ontario where there's a place to.
get rid of your car battery,
Finally, battery, yeah, there's nowhere in Ontario right now.
County of Frontenac. Letter regarding County of Frontenac resolution supporting sustainable infrastructure funding for small rural municipalities. Okay. Unfinished business. Update on the KCP washroom proposal.
Oh, I already gave that.
You gave that in the report.
Unfinished business.
Unfinished business?
Do you want to speak?
you can go ahead, no? You
Uh,
know what, no, so I didn't.
yeah, so Carl and I attended the annual meetings of Ontario River Power Corp and Ontario River Energy Solutions last week in Pembroke. I go just, they're interesting. I'm not kind of nerd. I want to know what's going on. Some interesting things that came out of it. People always talk about the Ottawa River Power rates being lower, and they are. So rates for residential are 19% lower, and for small business are 24% lower. I didn't get the percentage for large business, but it's even lower than that as well. So that's good. It's good that we're a part of that. They've resolved a couple of outstanding issues, and they are going to, without going into a lot of details, they're going to result in some savings for customers. So the annual savings that they're anticipating for residential customers is about $48 for small business, about $143, and for large businesses about $5,700 per year. So that's some really good work on them. They have a low debt to equity ratio, which that's good for us. They don't have a lot of debt. They can pay for things as they go. And they're in pretty good shape. One of the things that they're rolling out is called ORPC Power Assist. So that's outage communicator. So that could have been useful today, but it's not. And on Ottawa River Energy Solutions. So that's the money generating part of their business. So that's rental water heaters, fiber services, contracting services, conversion of power, those are things in the sky, what are they called? Street lights to LED and electric vehicle charging. That business is solidly going well, and it's always a challenge where they work very carefully to keep it as a separate business from the regulated power core business.
Wow.
If you like annual meetings, you should come along with Carl.
I went once.
Mhm.
I went once.
Yeah,
Do you have anything to add to that, Mr. Keel?
No, great.
good sandwiches.
Anything else,
You gotta
Brent?
get a meal at one time. Cutbacks.
Anything else for unfinished business?
Yes.
Yep.
I have a question about the area rate tax for KHR. Because last meeting we were discussing that it is going up 17%. But in my mind, is that tax a percent of the taxes you paid, or is it a preset amount? you know?
So, it's the 17% on the tax rate,
Yeah,
but then the special area rate isn't, it's not a tax. But the special area rate went up 17% as well. So it's different, it's like
but
it's separate.
how is it determined? Is it determined, is it a percentage of the tax you pay? The special area rate, or is it a preset?
So the 17% on the special rate is 17% of that rate.
I know,
Not
but
of
what
the total.
is that rate?
What's
I
the
don't-
actual, we'd have to look.
I don't have the numbers.
We really have to figure this out because I'm getting a lot of calls on it and. I agree, cause we've been talking about this for years and nobody knows exactly what's going on and we have to figure it out.
And that's what I had brought up earlier as far as in regards to determine what that rate is equal to and, you know, the streetlights, dot. What makes up that rate and to see if we're actually offsetting the right number.
Because when that was brought into effect, Round Lake and Willow didn't have streetlights. Now they have streetlights. So
Streetlights aren't included anymore in the special area rate
the
council.
streetlights aren't.
No, because when it came up 20, I forget when Sue was still here.
Yeah,
And she provided council with that information. Council at that time determined that they were gonna remove the streetlights because Round Lake and Willow have
so
streetlights
we
as
will
well.
have to figure that out because did we change the special area rate or did it stay the same? Like if
Oh, at
if
that time, you
Killaloe
mean?
isn't paying for their streetlights
Yeah, yeah.
anymore, then the special area rate should have dropped,
Should have dropped, right?
but I don't know if it has.
And that's one thing that I had asked for was. What makes it up?
Yeah.
And to justify this is the right amount, should it be lower, should it be higher, whatever, but.
I think we really need to figure this out before our next budget. We have to be more up to date,
We put a date on that, didn't we? We said by the end of the year.
yeah. But I got a lot of calls about
Yeah.
that so far.
So are we able, or would you be able to make up something that explains what makes that up to people? Like even like a for dummies sheet or something, you know, this is like so many cents go to this, so many cents go to this or something.
What's included in it, but also how each household's portion is determined. That's the other question.
Like maybe you could do it based on a home, you know, here's one home, here's an average home in Killaloe, this is what makes up your special area interest rate, this is what it goes towards.
Because
So that people
before,
can
like,
understand.
and I'm not saying anything about anybody did anything wrong, but. I've been on for 14 years and before Tammy was here, before. Nobody can explain to me exactly what's going on, so
So I'd like to know too, if I'm paying $3,000 a year and the bill's paying $2,000 a year, so is my area rate more than the bills? Or is it equal, right, Bill?
But you know that.
Well, you should
hang
be
on.
one.
No, hang on. The rate should be the same.
the rate
Well,
should
I'm
be the
just saying,
same
is
unless,
it or not?
yeah.
Well, it has to be.
So no, is it per household or is it per tax dollar or tax assessment? I don't know.
Cause if it's for tax assessment,
Well, then everyone's gonna be different,
that's
what I'm
right,
saying.
but if it's per, the
I like-
rate is the rate.
but if it's for tax assessment, it's gotta be a percentage, so then. If it's a percentage, it didn't go up 17%. It's going up 17% on the taxes that you pay. You know what I mean?
Oh, I think I know what he means.
Like, if it's, if they're saying 10% is an area rate, it's didn't go up to 27%, and that's what people are thinking.
Yes.
What is the 17% of?
Yeah,
Let Tammy bring back a report.
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, but this is good,
Interesting.
this is a good discussion, this is good.
Well, and it's good for people to know too, because knowledge is.
Like, I don't know if it's based on your assessment or your assessment or my assessment. Couldn't do it. Don't know.
So we've given Tammy direction earlier to
Yeah.
bring it back by the end of the year, is everybody okay with that, or you want it
Yeah,
sooner?
No, that's good. Lots
As
of
long as we
time.
have
It's
the answer,
Not
right?
gonna change anything for. this
Prior
year.
to, yeah, it's not gonna change this year, but prior to the next, when we start. Okay. Does anyone else have any unfinished business? Let's go to new business.
Oh, you know I do.
So I'm looking at you.
I save all my, so I guess I'll speak to the Irish gathering first. So our meeting went, well, everything is tickety-boo. We have a beautiful quilt that, an 80-something-year-old woman from Renfrew who doesn't want to be named because she doesn't want to get busy. She hand stitched. It's a Celtic, it has beautiful little Celtic knots in it. It's on display at the library. Raffle tickets are being sold at the library and the CRC. And at certain events in the community. Betty O'Connor was representing a Canada Day selling tickets with some of her workers and did an amazing job. So the funds will be split between the food bank and the Killu Library. And it's a great little fundraiser, but the Irish Gathering Committee is going full speed. We had a really good partnership with Watershed and the harm reduction team at the Killu and District Food Bank. They gave out, I think, in total 18 naloxone kits to the community, which is amazing, and did some training. And also lots of education. Yeah, they helped so many people. They were very impressed that they were able to help so many people in our community. And the third thing is just the vandalism in Pathways Park. So the grief phone got pulled out, I believe. I don't know when that happened. But I noticed Barry's Bay is actually, they're having a lot of vandalism and they're actually putting up cameras in their community. And I'm wondering if that's something we might want to consider looking into. Like the cost of the vandalism is getting to be a little bit.
It doesn't even have like those trail cameras. You can buy them that you'd set it up to go to somebody's phone. So as soon as the picture's
Yeah.
taken it. So then if they see it and they destroy it, they're going to be caught.
Well, and also when we were at Roma, I don't know, Tammy, do you remember those? I think you were with me when we saw those cameras that go on top of the light posts. And they do a 360 view. So like that might be good for somewhere like Station Park. Where it can sit up high, it does a full view of that whole entire space, like they cover a wide range.
Any idea pricing on them?
Don't know, but I would just like to have Dale or somebody give them some direction to look into some cameras, because the amount it's costing us in terms of vandalism is, you know, I think it might outweigh the cost of like investing in something to stop this. And obviously it's a problem in all these little communities.
Yeah.
You know, I don't want to blame kids because we don't know who's doing it, but somebody's vandalizing our stuff and it's costing us a lot of money.
And it's just enough underneath the deductible, so it's
Yeah.
uninsurable, so.
Yeah, and continue, and I just think cameras are a good deterrent. Like we have signs up that say there's cameras, you
Well,
know?
it's not even the cost, it's the volunteers are going to where
Well, it's heartbreaking.
it's heartbreaking for the
Yeah.
time and effort they put into it. And they're just going to give up, and we
Yeah.
don't want that.
Yeah, well, we also don't want our community to give up because that's not what we do here, so.
It must be scared of me because they never threw the flowers on the street.
Keep talking about it. Well,
Anyway, that's all that I have. So we're, everybody's okay with directing Dale to look into some cameras and coming back? I'm assuming it would be Dale who would do that.
So for KPP and Station Park.
Yeah, I think those are big, those are.
do you remember the company or anything? Because just,
I don't, but I mean, if
I
you
know
probably look
Dale-
up 360
yeah.
security cameras and you would like, they pop
Dale
up.
did look into it before and he had given us pricing.
Uh-huh,
Is there a location, Station Park, that would be high enough for something like that?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't even know. But it's just something to consider. I mean, and if not, maybe it's just something smaller, but they do exist is all.
Those trail cams are good though, as Teddy said, like,
Yeah,
as soon as you take a picture, it's on your phone. Or it could come to the computer, you can probably read
Yeah.
it up.
It wouldn't be good for at the park, but it would be good.
it would be good for pathways. Yeah, you wouldn't be able to have one of the ones that goes up top, trees would cover the path, but even a few well-placed ones. There would
Yeah,
would
they are-
deter people.
You're talking like a real good one is like $289, a real. good.
Yeah,
But
Okay,
they'll
that's all I
take
have.
it, like for 80 feet, they'll take a picture.
yeah.
Does anyone else have new business? Okay.
I received a request from the folks that organized the Killen Farmers Market and Killen and Makers Market. To move they've been in discussions with the health unit and The request is to move the Makers Market vendors to a spot on Water Street across from the park. Behind, kind of on the south side of Water Street there, so just beyond the visitor information. Book.
Why is that?
They're having challenges, it's a bigger story, but the short answer is that they're having challenges with the percentage of farmers, the number of actual farmers. To be able to call it a farmer's market, and by separating them into two different markets, that helps them get to where they need to go.
And do the vendors have a problem with it, you know, or have they talked to the vendors? Or?
I have been led to believe that they've talked to the vendors about that, yes.
I have a question now. Will this affect the allocation of the slots for when the Irish gathering happens?
I have no idea.
Because that could develop into a war. Like who's in their spot now, and then when other vendors come in, who gets the right of way? So,
That's a good point, and when I relay this decision back to them, I'll highlight that as an issue.
yeah, because I don't want to see a war happen. That's the last thing. You know what I mean? Like,
I don't.
okay, the Irish gathering.
Yeah.
We can't use the park because of
Yeah.
the sound, so they're gonna use that street for where the vendors are gonna be.
Yeah,
We
So-
can't close it off this year
So then they're going
It's gonna
to,
be on Water Street.
on Water Street. Okay.
So what Dave's saying is if the makers right now go there and claim
Their spot.
prime spots,
Mhm.
it might not work out. I'll take that back.
because then there'll
I'm
be,
sure
a-
that's-
well, I don't have a problem with it, as long as everybody there.
as long as there's peace. But I don't know if that's gonna happen, if there'll be peace.
Well, there's lots of time to work out.
Does anyone else have anything for new business?
So
We have to figure this
We
one
have
out
to.
first, so.
Ted saying he doesn't have a problem with it isn't a decision of council.
Oh,
Sorry, Mr. Mayor.
Is that what you're referring to
well, we need to vote on it.
on the Water Street idea?
For the Makers Market.
Well, I would like our questions answered before we vote. So we know what we're voting on.
Well, the thing is, if they're not answered, then there's the farmer's market, there's gonna be some issues, will there be issues with it this
So
weekend?
what question are you wanting answered? Those the question of whether or not the Irish gathering.
Well, yeah,
So
yeah,
that's a month and a half out. I think it's
Yeah.
probably time to address that issue.
Can you explain, Bill, to me, what's a maker's market and what's a farmer's market?
The Makers
Oh,
Market,
it's
have you
crafts
been?
and stuff.
Yes,
Crafts and photography, there's lots of different
Okay.
things, yes.
does anyone else have any questions? So the question is, do we want to split the market and have the Makers Market on Water Street? That's the question. All those in favor? Carry.
As long as there's no feud.
No guarantees.
Are we gonna have hookups that they need on that side, or
On the maker's market, they don't.
they don't need them?
It'll be
They
done.
don't need,
I don't think there's anybody that needs
They
electricity.
can use the charging station.
There is power at the visitor information booth that they could use potentially.
Does anyone else have any new business?
I do, and I don't wanna bring everybody down because you were saying how good the fireworks were, but I did get 2 calls about the kids' activities.
Mhm.
I wasn't there, so I don't know, but they just said it wasn't very good, so I don't know who was there.
So some of those things were booked before Chris left,
Yeah,
like 2 of the things. I don't think we really, like, you know, we kind of knew what was coming, didn't really know.
yeah,
So I think it's just this year, I think people have to keep in mind, we were going through a transition phase. Somebody new has come in, I'm not a community development
Yeah.
person, I was just trying to make sure there was entertainment and stuff, like. Nothing to do with that, like, not really a whole lot to do with that, so,
and I did explain it to them exactly like that.
yeah,
But I said I would bring it to council just for next year's event. like I said, we had a new community development and that you had volunteered all your time and,
Yeah, and Colton is gung ho.
yeah,
And I'm sure it's gonna look very different next year, but yeah, just keep in mind this year event
Yeah.
may look a little bit different, because we're going through a bit of a transition this summer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, I think for the circumstances we're in, I think it was really good.
yeah,
The kids did go there on to the right side of the park. And then on the left side of the park were all those games, the basketball and the
yeah.
throwing balls and both sides, there was a lot of kids, like a lot
There's
of
a lot
kids.
of families, the fireworks are actually quite good, so.
I thought they were nice. They were great.
So, anybody else have anything? Okay,
This lady kept me covered with bug spray, give me a chair, oh my God.
then we have a motion to go into committee.
Moved by Ted Brown, second by Maureen McMillan, be it resolved that council move into a closed meeting pursuant to section 239 of the municipal code 2001 as amended for the following reasons. Personal matters of other than identifiable individual, including municipal or local board employees, a proposed or pending acquisition or disposition of land by the municipality or local board. Information explicitly supplied in confidence to the municipality or local board by Canada, a province or territory, or a crown agency of England.
All those in favor? Carried. Who was that?
Oh, gosh.
Who's the other lady?